Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. Hard sports all plays. 365, we making a place. We talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information, hitting the airways, taking the nation. Hard sport all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. Hard sports all plays.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
This is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.
I guess it helps if I have this. All right, what's happening, everybody? Welcome to GWR Gonzo'S Wrestling Room. Forgot to add us into the stream. I'm Chris Gonzalez, joined by Tony Gonzalez, Marcus Fine, and Austin Gonzalez. How's it going, guys?
A little better for us, and I think maybe for you. I don't know. Hey, everybody messes up every now and then. I think maybe you might have been thinking about somebody you seen last night. I don't know.
Yeah. That's what it was.
Doing a little daydreaming. Well, we'll get started on our independent wrestling report. Well, I think we all just went to one show this past weekend. That was Sunday. It was Frontier Elite Wrestling. It was the first time for me and Chris. We got to broadcast there live. Marcus was with it, but he's seen a few shows there before. Our first time there. I thought it was a real good show. Marcus, I imagine you've got some notes there. Tell us something about the matches.
Yeah, I have the results. I will say that was the first time I was in that venue, and I will have to say that is something. That old theater and us being in the balcony, and yeah, that was something unique. I don't know what else to say. I mean, I love the building, I love the venue, and so I talked to.
And I like
But
I like the way that they started right on time. Very, very prepared. We was there, a couple hours early or so, but they were very well prepared for the show, and I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, they did. Alex PM'd me earlier today. 43 was the head count yesterday, so not a bad showing. So I think they froze up. Are you? Nope, there you are. All right, you're moving. All right, you want me to run these results down then?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll talk a little bit about
it. First match, Hidari, which was his second time there, versus Frank Isaac Anderson. That's the first time I'd seen him. Pretty good start of the show, I thought.
Yeah, it was very enjoyable.
Mr. Anderson taunted the fans and does it like an IRS gimmick, and Hidari beat him, but the sizes were about the same. We've pretty much even matchup there. Let's see. I had to move this around a little bit. Okay, Cousin Cooter and Scarecrow defeated the British Empire to retain the F.E.W tag team titles. Cooter and Crow are huge fan favorites, as you could tell. And Preston seemed to have lost his mind somewhere.
Yep.
By constantly throwing his partner in there, and then ended up costing the match. Is that his shoot name, Justin? So, let's see. Match number 3, Cody Nunn retained the F.E.W Mid-Continental Championship against Rampage Radisson. And we've seen Wiley and Yippee. One-Man Crew defeated Zay Gates in Zay Gates' debut at F.E.W. Chris's favorite Thunder Kitty defeated Lexi Green via submission. Mitchell Taylor defeated Brandon Day via DQ to retain his heavyweight title. And the main event was Michael Elgin defeated Jacob Rose in a very main event match. So I'd like to see those guys go at it
A
again.
real good match. Yeah, I would too. I thought the main event was probably the match of the night. Zay's match was really good. Also, the Brandon Day match was very good too. But it was a real good show. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Billy Bust.
What's Billy got to say? I know we picked on him a little bit.
Chris will put it up on the screen for you.
Oh, Glenn must be downtown. Did he really? Justin, I don't remember him that. How long ago was that? Yeah. Chris's pet name.
Yeah, if you're gonna bring her here, you gotta get some kitty litter.
You guys are lost your mind.
Hey, he started it, Chris. He started it. He just pulled that out of nowhere, threw that out there.
Yeah, I don't know why.
With it too.
Yeah, Marcus jumped right in on that, didn't he?
Hey, you give me a platform, I'll go. Like I told Billy on there, we'll take it anybody. You give us a second.
That's true.
But yeah, I thought it was a fantastic event, fantastic show, fantastic venue, hot crowd.
Yeah, it was a hot crowd. It wasn't one of the biggest ones we've seen. Wasn't the smallest by no means either. We've seen much smaller too, but it was a really good show. Chris, what do you think?
No, I thought it was a real solid show. I enjoyed it. I do like the building. I was a little I don't know how to say it. Not concerned, but I was a little weary of the building just because I didn't know how the setup was going to be with being the ring being up on a stage. Because being the first, it'd be like the first show we've been to with it set up like that. But I like how the setup was. I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty good view from the balcony.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of it back today. I haven't watched all about our picture look good and everything. I thought it was a solid show. I agree. I think Elgin and Rose was probably the match of the night. I thought Zay Gates and One Man Crew put on a hell of a match. I really enjoyed the Brandon Day and the King Mitch Taylor match as well. But saying that though, there wasn't a bad match on the card.
No, some good storytelling. Old school. I kind of say they were kind of an old school wrestling organization, which I like. I know Marcus likes that too. So yeah, definitely old school. I thought they did a great job, and looking forward to going back.
Well, I guess I have seen Mr. Anderson before. Boy, it's been a while. Justin just revived my memory.
Oh, he wrestled for EWF, did he?
Yeah, and now that he said that, I'm vaguely getting that yes, that did happen.
Glenn Richardson's he's at the Pacer game. He'll be starting here pretty soon.
About 40 minutes or so. Quarterfinals of the in-season tournament.
Yep. Well, we'll move along to my pro wrestling report. I'll start off with Monday Night Raw. I thought it was a really good show. Actually, I thought it was the show of the week. I thought it was the best show that I've seen this week as far as the pro wrestling goes on TV. Really liked the Creed brothers winning that tag team turmoil, which I thought was pretty good. Loved the attack of Nakamura attacking Cody Rhodes. Loved the Bronson Reed and Ivar big man match. I guess there's rumors about them maybe even starting a big man division, maybe on Raw, and maybe SmackDown having some cruiserweight division, and maybe loosely. It may not even be like a set division, but you may see big men on one show, smaller guys featured on another show. Not all the time, but and I think that would be interesting. Randy Orton got a huge pop, started the show. He had a match with Dom, won it, looked great. Dude is jacked. Looks unbelievable. Thought the show was real good. Then ended the show with the very, I guess, not controversial in a way that he said anything controversial, but CM Punk promo. Some people liked it. Some people hated it. Um, I know Chris seen it. I know Austin seen it. I don't know if Mark has seen the promo or not. But Austin, what do you think of the promo?
I thought the promo was okay. It wasn't anything amazing. It was pretty basic, pretty, you know, basic. I know a lot of people were saying, he was a hypocrite with the "I'm home here" stuff. They didn't like that and all, but I don't know. I thought it was decent for his first promo.
I think that some people think he's a hypocrite and didn't mean that he was home, but I don't think they know because I don't think they know what he's been through. He went to AEW. That was a train wreck. Not a very professional place. I know he complained about WWE a lot, but maybe he found out the grass wasn't green on the other side, and he was happy to be back at a professional place that ran like a business and not like an insane asylum. So
Well, I mean, they might have not left on the best terms, and he said all this stuff. He wouldn't go back and stuff, but that doesn't make him saying he's home now any less. I think he's being truthful with it. I mean, they left on not good terms, but both of them can they can all change and stuff, and I think he's grown a little and they've grown, so I think it could be good. I don't know. I'm here for it. I'd rather see him in WWE than AEW. So.
and they also a lot of people was upset saying that he didn't bring up AEW and
What's the point of bringing him up?
And then there's also rumors. There's also rumors that he may be under a legal document where he's not allowed to say anything.
What made people think that he was going to bring up AEW? That's not something WWE. That's not WWE. That's not what they do. They don't. How many times have they really mentioned AEW live on air?
Other than
not many, if at all. I can't think of hardly any. That's not what they do. They don't get on there and
one time.
For one, why would you get on your air and talk about your competition? You're giving them free advertisement when you do that. AEW does it every week, almost talking about WWE, and WWE's probably sitting there saying, "Thank you guys, because you're getting our name in all these people's heads, and we're not paying a dime for it."
The MJF brought up CM Punk and Cody Rhodes this past weekend in his promo.
Yeah, but that's more part of just MJF's gimmick, though. He brings up everything.
Yeah, so I didn't understand why everybody was. I didn't think the promo was bad. I think that's why people didn't like the promo, because people thought that he was going to come. For some reason, people thought he was going to come out there.
They wanted a pipe bomb 2.0
and just start. Yeah, and I didn't think that was going. I never thought that was what was going to happen.
Some people thought it was scripted. I read it wasn't scripted. I heard it got cut a little bit because of time constraints. The match went a little bit longer. I heard Triple H wasn't even there. He wasn't even there. CM Punk was, here's when it came to time, you got 7 minutes. Go do your thing. They probably told him, look, they may have told him not to mention AEW. I'm sure they probably did, because that's like you guys said, that's not their style. The only time I can really remember them mentioning Triple H did at the Hall of Fame a few years ago, called him a piss ant company. And that was before they just was getting started. And he made that comment teasing Billy Gunn when they went into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So, they don't mention that a whole lot. But yeah, there was some controversy over that. But I thought it was a safe promo. I thought it was kind of safe, which, why you got plenty of time. He's going to be under a couple-year contract.
No reason to rush it all. I think it was an okay first promo.
Yeah, I agree with that. Next up, we'll talk a little bit about the NWA. I know Mark has seen that. I'm not sure if Austin got to see the NWA or not, but
I watched it.
It was interesting. It was an interesting episode. Got to see Carson Drake, somebody that we've seen quite a bit on the independent scene, compete on there. Which I tell you what, the dude looks the part. Seeing him on the big screen, he looked the part. Looked really good. I know he lost his match. It was for the television championship against Mims, but I thought he looked really good. Looks like he belongs. And mentioned Carson Drake. He was also featured on OVW Thursday night, also on TV, and won in a tag team match. So big week for Carson Drake this week. What do you guys think of the NWA show?
I actually just watched it right before we came on. I thought it was okay. I thought it was decent. The first match, like you were just talking about, I'll go ahead and say what I thought. I thought it was a decent match. I didn't like the 6:05 time limit though. And then they didn't even, it was literally only like a 3.5 minute match, so it was over before it really got started. I thought it was going good,
Yeah.
and I thought they both looked decent, but yeah, it just kind of ended before it really got started.
Yeah, Marcus. No, I agree. The 6:05. I'd rather them do a 10-minute time limit.
At least 10.
That's what TV used to be back in the day. TBS was
I thought it was
always 10
15.
minutes. Time limit.
I thought it was 15, and if they didn't win in the 15 minutes,
I thought
then the title was no longer on the line. I thought
that I have to go double check because I thought the TV title matches on TV were 10 minutes
it could have been.
Well,
It could have been.
back in TBS in the 80s. That's what I thought, but I could be wrong. But yeah, I would like to see them extend that because you got two talents like that. I would love to see them go 8 or 9 minutes.
Well, the biggest problem with that time limit is you're telling us that the most this match could be is 6:05 if it goes the time limit. So we know it's not going to go the time limit most. So we already know it's going to be a short match, which kind of takes you out of the match to begin with.
I agree.
And you're talking champions. If you're
Mhm.
talking like rookies versus jobbers, yeah, 6 minutes is enough. But Mims is
Yeah, it was a championship match. It was for the
what
title.
Carson Drake can do, and Mims is good, and
Yeah.
6:05 is just a ridiculous number. So
What did you guys think of I'd like the women's match. What did you guys think of the women's match?
yeah,
Yeah, I thought the women's match was pretty decent. I thought it was pretty good. I really thought that the Tiffany, I can't pronounce her last name, but I thought she was really good with the character work and stuff, just like in the ring, just being a character stuff. I thought it was a decent match.
She's the I believe I know she wrestles OVW. I think she's the champion of OVW.
I think they did say that she was at least a
Yeah.
champion in OVW. Yes.
Yep. Also, so it seems like they're working quite a bit with OVW now. Anything else stand out to you in that episode to you guys?
Once again, Tom Latimer is terrible selling. I've seen him wrestle a couple of times. That dude cannot sell.
Yeah, he don't sell a whole lot.
didn't they do
I
the
don't know.
Carnival Girl on that one too?
I think that was the episode before.
Okay,
They said that they're going to be next week though.
I do want to see Slime Balls. You want to see Slime Balls, Austin?
I want to see. I want to see what
Never
they
seen them,
are.
so they're next week though, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
It'll be the
haven't
first
seen them
match.
either. I'm curious, but they got a
Oh,
promo.
okay. Yeah, I seen the promo. That was
And
interesting.
that ties in with the other things I've got to talk about real quick. They started this territory system. They come from NWA Exodus. Oh, I'm probably not pronouncing it right, but anyway, it's spelled EXODUS.
Excellent. Like the Bible.
Going to be pro Midwest territory from Florida. That's where they're from. And they just announced today their second territory. It is NWA JCP South JCP Promotions Southeast, and it's in Tennessee. They just added their second territory. Let me ask you: do you guys think that this territory system can work for them?
I don't know. It's kind of a little old school for me personally. I just don't know as a more newer fan. I don't know if it would really if I could get into all that.
Is that JCP like Juggalo Championship?
No.
No. I was trying to figure my letters out.
It's a name, Jim Caritas or something promotions. Is the guy's name.
I thought you were going to say Crockett.
No, that's
Yeah,
Crockett.
that's
That's what I was thinking.
what I just said, yeah.
JCP was Jim Crockett Promotions. But
Who knows? They might do a NWA DCCW Midwest territory.
hey, hopefully.
Well, CWF in Lafayette when they were Central Wrestling Federation, they went to NWA Indiana there at the end of their run.
Well, the advantage would be for them, I think, would be that the fact that they can bring talent, like which they've been doing. They've been bringing new talent in and give them a try, and they may find somebody that clicks. And they're starting off; they're not paying them very much money, if anything at all. So I think that's a good way to bring new talent in at a cheap price. So I think that's an advantage Now, whether it works, I guess we'll have to give it time to see.
Now, just one question about, you said that they do kind of have the TV deal. It's on the app at least, right? You said.
Yeah, right now they're on the app. They got 8 episodes on CW app.
Is there any talks
NWA
of them
does.
like making the episodes a little longer?
Yeah,
Because
I don't know.
45 minutes, I just.
Or they need to start putting so many matches because those matches are still really rushed.
Yep.
They're trying
Yeah,
to put so
it's
much
even-
story into a small time period, and it's like,
Mhm. If you're doing 45 minutes, you need less matches, or you need more time so you can do it. I mean, I think they should go bump up to at least like an hour and a half for
I
the
agree.
match count they're doing at least.
I
So are
agree.
they allowed to act like they're doing coke on the app?
I don't know. I don't know.
I
That's
mean,
the first episode.
I was thinking of arena in Jeffersonville. Let's see what we can cram in a.
we found that you might lose your TV deal if you do that,
Well,
but,
do it on
but
pay-per-view,
you can still be on that.
Yeah, they're on that.
That still that don't make no sense to me. And another thing don't make no sense to me real quick is AEW cutting.
We're going
Rick-
to talk about that.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
talk, yeah, I've got that down.
Because that's ridiculous.
I've got that down to talk about when we get there. So, anything else on the NWA guys?
No,
Okay,
I thought it was an
moving on.
okay one.
They're keeping my interest. I will give you that.
Yes.
I look forward to seeing that.
I wish they'd put them on TV and give them an opportunity. Give them 6 months, give them a year. Whether they'll allow that now since NXT is signed with CW, I don't know. They're on the app, so but NXT ain't started yet either. So we'll see what 2024 brings. Next up is NXT. I thought it was a pretty good show. The match for me of the night was Dragunov against Nathan Frazier. I thought that was a really good match. Also, 2 matches stood out to me. Wesley defeated Johnny Gargano. Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed. What the hell's going on?
Yeah, we're gonna get kicked off.
there. Yeah. You're bringing up coke. I'm bringing up weed. What the hell?
You see what I put up with all day? And you live with it. You know them guys, and that's what I go through on the weekend.
Yeah. I'll try this again. Wesley defeated Johnny Gargano, Bronson Reed, Cameron Grimes in a fatal 4-way to earn a shot at the North American Championship. So that was something that Don put together. He had to win that match to get a shot at him. And I assume that's going to be at their next pay-per-view on December 9th. But I thought it was a pretty good show. Did you get to see the show Austin?
I didn't watch this. I watched some highlights and stuff, but I didn't get to watch it. No.
I thought it was decent. Next up, we'll go to AEW. Thought it was a pretty good show. Good segment with Edge. Why ain't they getting kicked off TV? He dropped the F-bomb live on TV. The censor must have went to sleep. So,
Oh, I heard about that.
yeah, he told Christian, oh, by the way, fuck you. And no, they didn't. That's how it exactly went out on the air. They didn't censor it at all. I'm sure they're going to pay a hefty fine for that. But they had some pretty good matches on the show, actually. It had Jay White against Swerve Strickland. That was pretty good. The story with MJF and the Devil is going pretty well. My concern is it going to pay off? Who's going to end up being the Devil, and is it going to pay off for him in the long run? It reminds me a lot of Aces of 8. Me and Austin was talking about that because I predict the Devil is going to be MJF. I think he's going to be the heel, and he's playing everybody. That's what I think it's going to be, but we'll see. And that would be almost an exact copy of Impact or TNA with Bully Ray.
Yeah. They could do a little Vince thing too. It was me all along, Adam.
Yeah, the Vince thing. That story, yeah. So it's kind of going down those lines, I think. But we'll see. We'll see where that goes. But I thought it was a pretty good show. Friday's show, SmackDown, I thought was a pretty good show. We had Escobar continuing his heel run, and I think they're building him strong. He beat Jaquan Wild, who used to be a partner with in the AWO. So I thought it was pretty good. Logan Paul made an appearance and announced that his next championship match will be a winner of an 8-man tournament. And so they're starting that next week. So I think that's going to be interesting. Orton made an appearance, and we had the people in charge of each brand on there and offering him a contract for SmackDown and for Raw. He chose SmackDown because he was guaranteed to be able to go against the Bloodline, and he wants Roman. So, and he also of course, Paul Heyman and them guys made their way down there, and he give Jimmy Uso a RKO, and then he RKO the general manager of SmackDown before the show went off there too. So, so I thought it was a pretty good show. Enjoyed it. Did you get to see it, Austin?
Yeah, I watched most of it. I got to see most of it. On the Randy thing, man, it's Randy Orton, so you know, but man, talk about instantly coming back and kind of being almost like the most over superstar, like he never left. I mean, he looks great. But my question was the Roman thing. They're acting like he's gonna get a feud with Roman. Does Roman show up for a match before WrestleMania? Because we know that's not. I mean, you wouldn't think that's a WrestleMania feud. Does he show up for a pay-per-view before WrestleMania?
The rumor is they may be opponents at Royal Rumble.
Okay,
That's the rumor.
I don't know with Roman. When's the last time he has been a while, right?
Been quite a while.
2 or 3 months.
Yep,
At least.
Got a couple little things here real quick. Chris alluded to this thing with AEW and Ric Flair. Ric Flair cut a promo. Kind of nothing new to what he said. He said it. He used to say it 40 years ago. Other than the fact that he's set in his 70s now, but he talked about him and Tony Schiavone is going to be at the hotel, and anybody 18 to 20, any women, any 18 to 28-year-olds that want to come to the hotel, come and see him and Tony Schiavone and have a good time. Leave your boyfriends and your husbands at home, and they AEW cut it. They didn't allow the promo to air on. It was supposed to be on Rampage, so they cut the promo. What do you guys think about it? Do you think that should be cut? I know Chris does not. Chris, what do you think? Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can watch these music award shows on BT, on TV, with our asses out, titties out, everything, which I'm not complaining, but it happens. But then a guy just gets on there and makes a comment. It ain't like he was degrading anybody. It ain't like he was asking for underage kids or something. It's adults. I mean, and it's something that we've, like you said, he's done for 40 years. I don't understand what the big deal, why it's such a big deal. It had to be cut out of the program.
My take on it, I don't think it got cut because of what he said. I think it kind of got cut because who said it. I mean, yes, he's been saying forever, but now with all the stuff that's came out with him last couple of years, he probably shouldn't be the one on your television show to be saying stuff like that. That's my take on it. I don't think it's really the words that he said, just maybe the person that said it.
What do you think, Marcus? I mean, you've seen Ric Flair since.
We talked yesterday, and with Flair being a very decrepit 70-year-old man wanting an 18-year-old, well, that makes no sense anyway. And Tony Schiavone, why? I mean, I don't see that ever happening. But Chris is right. That's classic Flair. I could go either way.
Yeah, I think it's meant more as comedy as anything. I believe. I mean, who knows? Rick may be serious. Who knows? I mean, Rick.
I think he's at least half serious.
I'm not saying if somebody showed up, we probably won't turn him down.
Yeah, but no, we won't go there.
If he's 70 years old and has that kind of pull, more power to him.
Yeah, if he can handle an 18-year-old, go for it, Rick. But
and I had one other thing I want to ask you guys.
Exactly, Billy.
Yeah, right, Billy.
What Billy say here?
He says basically you need to let free.
Yeah, I agree. They do need to toughen up a little bit.
I mean, and I'm not saying this to say that the Attitude Era was great. Everybody talks about they want the Attitude Era back and all this back. If you can't handle Ric Flair saying that, there's a whole lot more outrageous shit done in the Attitude Era than that.
That ain't fact.
They have to cut out the whole damn show.
Yeah.
We've cut SmackDown to 4 minutes because that's all we got past the censor.
That's all it's politically correct to show. 4 minutes.
That's true. That's true. One other thing I want to talk about before we move on real quick. is WWE still has not got a contract for Raw for 2024. SmackDown is going to USA. Of course, NXT is going to CW, but Raw has not found a new home. There's been some rumors and talks about maybe going to FX, which FX is not. People say, well, it's going to Fox. Now, it's weird because FX ain't owned by Fox, it's owned by Disney, which I didn't know that till just recently. But AEW is also trying to get their deal renewed with TBS and TNT, Warner Brothers and stuff. But now there is some rumors going around and that WWE had talks with them in October and they were turned down. But now they're saying that there are talks going on again. What happens, guys, if Raw moves to TBS and TNT and AEW loses the TV deal?
I think AEW probably gets, don't pay enough money. They'll get some kind of TV, but I'm more of a WWE fan, but I do honestly think if TNT or TBS had the chance to get WWE over AEW right now, I would think they'd take it if they were getting enough from it themselves. But I mean, I think they know they're probably going to get more viewers. But
Yeah, I mean, right now AEW is doing about 800,000, where Raw does sometimes. Well, last week they did almost 1.9, double on a Monday night against NFL football.
I think the main thing is WWE is just more consistent.
Of course, it was one of the worst Monday Night Football games in the history of football.
Well, we did have Randy Orton coming back and CM Punk coming back too.
And one of the worst Monday Night Football games.
That's true.
That game was horrible.
What game was that?
Bears.
Vikings?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was bad. But so what do you think, Chris? You think that TBS might pull the trigger and get Raw?
I mean, they might. If you can get, I mean, it's smart. It's all about making money in business, and if they get it for the right price, what they consider the right price, I mean, you're going to jump on it because WWE is going to bring a lot of oddballs to their network. I think it really hurt. I mean, it hurt AEW bad because where you going? Where do they go from here? If you lose your TV deal with them, yeah, you might be able to find some kind of a TV deal from another network, but probably not going to be for the amount of money that you were getting from Warner Brothers.
No, because you run out of options because, I mean, cause especially, I mean, that's kind of smart because WWE's taking up 3 different options, 3 different networks, and usually they have deals set in place where they can't have competition. Another wrestling company can't be on against them. Usually that's how it's set up. I'm not saying for sure that's the way it would be. So I think that's interesting. Okay, guys, we'll move on to our next thing. And Marcus, that'll be you with your pro wrestling profile.
Okay. Again, we're doing Dick the Bruiser opponents and wrestlers of his time here in the state. I picked Sailor Art Thomas this week. You're familiar with him, Tony, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I know you. I think we've talked about him, but since he came up in last week's celebrity thing, I decided to use him this week. Sailor Art Thomas, born January 30th, 1924 in Arkansas, and he passed away March 20th of 2003. He was a former merchant mariner and bodybuilder. He debuted in 1943 and he retired in 1981. When his mom passed, he was raised in Wisconsin and lived in an orphanage and foster homes till he became of age. Spent 27 months in the Merchant Marines, helped build airstrips in Guam. Then became a bodybuilder, toured the U.S., and was spotted by promoter Jimmy DeMentral, and I don't know who that is, and began training. When he debuted, he was introduced as a discharged mariner and would take on the villains for their dishonorable tactics. So I'm guessing he was like a Sergeant Slaughter of the time, that they used him to take on the villains like Slaughter did years later. He won several tag team titles around North America with partners such as Luthez and Bobo Brazil. He won the NWA Texas Heavyweight Championship and held that in 62 and 63. He did work in the WWF in 63 and 64, teaming with Bobo and Bruno Sammartino. In April of 72, he won Bruiser's WWA Heavyweight title by defeating Baron Von Raschke and was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame 13 years after his passing. So that's who I had this week.
Cool.
If there's anybody
He
out
was-
there want to give me an
he-
idea
he-
that they want me to come up with, Billy Buzz or anybody that's got any of them Bruiser opponents or somebody, throw them out there and I'll put them in a spotlight.
Cool. Yeah. Says I remember Sailor Art Thomas being 6, 7 years old watching him on TV.
They did a Sailor Art Thomas Jr., but I don't think that was his son. I just think it was they used the gimmick again and
Yeah.
put a sailor hat on him. I vaguely remember the second generation too.
Okay. Next up, we've got our pro wrestling top 5 for the month of November, and also our independent top 5 for the month of November. I'm doing the pro wrestling top 5 first for pro wrestling, and then me, Marcus, and Chris will do our independent wrestling. Uh, Austin, let's see what you think of my top 5 for the pro wrestling for this week, for this month, or for the past month of November. My number 5 was Christian. I thought Christian's been a real strong in AEW. Great promos, probably the best heel they've got going right now, especially since MJF is basically a fan favorite. So I think Christian has helped fill that void. Just great promos, great storytelling. So doing a great job. My number 4 is Cody Rhodes. It's hard. I think he's probably their top baby face, but they've got a lot of baby faces right now. But he's doing a great job, getting great reactions every week, having great matches. So Cody Rhodes is my number 4. My number 3 is Swerve Strickland, giving Christian a good run for his money with the being the heel there in AEW, but just having great matches. Got a big win at the last pay-per-view against Hangman Adam Page in that crazy death match. So I think he's going to another level. I really like what he's doing. Number 2 for that month is Santos Escobar, who I think is moving to a new level for heel for WWE. I think we're going to see big things from him in the next 6 months. I like the story, the way they're doing it with him and Ray, and I think he's been really good. And then my number 1 is Rhea Ripley for the month. I think she's as strong a superstar as WWE's got. She's on every show, it seems like, and just doing a great job. And she had a big win at their last pay-per-view. So that's my top 5. Austin, what do you think of my top 5?
I think that's a pretty solid top 5. I'd say a couple people that I would kind of say is in the mix. Jey Uso is in the mix there. Seth, you could say just because he's on TV all the time and just kind of the workhorse. But I mean I think your top 5 is pretty solid. That's pretty much what I'd say mostly.
Yeah, I could do 10. I mean, you got Drew, who's turning heel and been doing good work too.
Dominic.
I mean, Shawn Michaels said the other day that he thinks Dominic Mysterio is for the last year been the MVP of WWE.
He's been great.
I have to agree with that.
Yeah, so and that's coming from Shawn Michaels. So that's pretty high praise. Okay, guys, we got
Ever since he got off the prison yard.
got out of the prison yard. That's true. Next up, we got our independent pro wrestling top 5 for the month of November. Who wants to go first? Marcus, you want to go?
All right, I'll go. All right, my top 5, starting from 5 up to 1. Number 5, Jason Levi. Jason Levi successfully defended his NGW heavyweight title against Congo Kong, and 5 days later was in the ring at the Dub and wrestled Hidari. Number 4 is a tag team. Mike King and Joey the Kid Owens for becoming the new DCCW Tag Team Champions, defeating the Beaver Boys. Number 3, Mitchell Taylor for becoming the new F.E.W champion by defeating Brandon Day. Number 2, I give it to Tyler Scott for becoming the new JICW Cruiserweight Champion by defeating Casey Grim Santos. And number 1's a tag team as well. The Dirty Birds, in their 1-year run, finally became the AACW Tag Champions, and they well deserve number 1 for what they've improved immensely
Yes.
over last year. So that's it. Jason Levi, Mitchell Taylor, Joey Owens, and Mike King, Tyler Scott, and the Dirty Birds.
That's a great top 5. Completely, quite a bit different from mine, but I think that's an awesome top 5. Chris, what you got?
All right, my top 5. Number 5, I have Zay Gates. We got to see him a couple times in the month of November. One that sticks out is against Jared Kripke at Warrior Pro a couple weeks ago. So I have him at 5 this month. I have Jordan James at number 4. We saw him at DCCW flexing on muscular dystrophy against Luke Savage. And then we saw him just a couple days later against Logan Myers at the WCW Veteran Show. I thought both of them were real solid matches. Number 3, I have Blake Money Wright. Again, we saw him in a tag match with I think the guy's name was Xavier, if I remember right. Got Elgin Trains, and Elgin and Damon Real. And then we also saw him against Logan Myers at Warrior Pro. And we kind of talked about this with some other people. They're both Blake. I mean, Blake's one of them guys. It seems like every time we see him, he is better than the time before. Number 2, he wasn't in my top 5 last month. Hidari. Hidari's been on fire. We've seen him at multiple places. Saw him in a great gauntlet match, a great performance in a gauntlet match at AACW. We also seen him at the Veteran Show against David Light. I think he was at the DCCW show.
Mm-mm.
No,
he was at the Dub that night, wasn't he?
Yeah.
But then we also, I mean, we saw him last night, which didn't count for this month, but we've seen him a few times. But he's been on fire over the last. And then at number 1, I think he was my number 2 last time. I have Logan Myers against Blake Money Wright, match against Jordan James at the WCW Veteran. And Logan's another guy I think that has looked better every time we've seen him here the last couple months. So
Yeah, I agree.
That's who I had at the top 5.
Okay, we got somebody that's upset out here, Mark.
Well,
It was after your list, so
Ravi will get over. You can make December. We will see you. All 3 of us will see you Saturday, Justin. You can make that happen. Because I don't know if you know, but Gonzo'S Sports Room, we will be in the house on Saturday. So.
okay, so
So he'll make December.
I'll make December. Okay,
Number
5.
I'll give you a little insight, Justin. Your opponent says the same thing. Now we're ready.
I think Justin. I better not say that. I think we need to see a sacrifice, and then maybe we can get a number 1.
Oh, God.
I'll go on from that. Okay,
You didn't have to talk to your grandfather. He's really good
my
on
list was Christian Cash. Defended his title at the Kokomo show. I thought he had a real good performance, and that 3-way match I thought was really good. So he's my number 5. My number 4, Jesse Winchester. Anybody knows I'm not a big Jesse Winchester fan, but he came over and did commentary with us, did a fantastic job, did great storytelling, just did a great job, and then had a great match later in the show against IK3. Had a fantastic match, which he won, and hung on to his belt. So I thought Jesse did an incredible job this month. Next up, number 3 was the Dirty Birds. Very easily could have been number 1. I mean, did a great job. Finally got those belts. Got probably the loudest pop I've ever heard at an independent show. So Dirty Birds number 3 on my list. Yep, number 2, Logan Myers. Logan Myers again, like Chris said, just been on fire. Had a great match there against Blake Wright. Lost a controversial match. Matter of fact, going to get a rematch coming up this month. Seen him get a win over at the Veteran Show against James against Jordan James.
And he was also at the, I forgot to mention that, he was also at the Flexing with Muscular Dystrophy, real good match with Dalton Love.
A very difficult match because of the ropes. So great performances from Logan. He was my number 2. And my number 1 was just the performance was outstanding. He started off at a battle royal there at Warrior Pro Wrestling, won that battle royal that Jesse Winchester set up, a very tough battle royal. He won that and then wrestled in a match against Jared Kripke, beat Kripke, probably about 35 minutes in the ring total, counting the Rumble and the match. So my number 1 was Zay Gates this week, for that month. So he's my number 1, and I thought did a great job. I liked all the lists. I thought Marcus got to see more matches than we did, so he had some people on there that we probably didn't see.
Marcus, Chris Chaos said he missed your list.
Okay.
Well, you shouldn't be watching every second. What the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, come on. I just told you. Anyhow, you have to go back. I'll be like that. You just need to go back and watch it. Anyhow.
We need the viewers. That's twice.
Jason Levi at number 5. Mike King and JKO at number 4. Mitchell Taylor 3. Tyler Scott 2. Dirty Birds 1. And actually, Chris Chaos seen the Tyler Scott win because he was sitting next to me at JSCW that day. So,
and guys, let me tell you something. This was my idea to do these lists, and it's not easy. It's easy. You could, I mean, Marcus, how many people could you put on your list?
Well, at least 20.
Yeah, I mean, we see a lot of great matches, and it's really hard. Got to sit down and think what I go by. Like Zay, that performance really stood out to me. So that's what I'm kind of going by. There's things that really stood out to me. Logan Myers stood out to me with his 2 or 3 performances I've seen. Sometimes that can be an advantage if you see somebody 3 or 4 times in that month. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that can be an advantage because it could stand out more. Like I said, the Dirty Birds pop. Dirty Birds could have been number 1 easily with that pop that they got. So I mean, and Winchester, what he did, I mean, he stood over on commentary and did a great job and just did great storytelling. So, and Cash has been doing an incredible job of Kokomo. So it's hard. I mean, I didn't have Blake Money right on my list. He could have been on my list. I mean, it's really difficult to do.
I mean, like I marked out 3 or 4 times because I kept changing. Michael Elgin could have been on my list again this month from seeing him at DCCW, and then Hadari's which I had it too. But he, if you listen, he gets one of the loudest pops from the crowd
everywhere he goes.
Don't get me wrong, it ain't the pop that Dirty Birds got when they won that championship, but everywhere he goes, he's a fan favorite. And a lot of times before they even see him wrestle in the ring, just him coming out the curtain.
Coming out, yeah. He's got that I don't know what you would call it, but it just comes out natural chemistry here. It definitely comes out. Okay, guys, you got anything else on this? I
want to say the way I do mine is how they win these belts. I mean, Mitchell Taylor made his guy pass out. Tyler Scott, he's been working. He's like the Dirty Birds. He's worked hard to get to where he's at.
Yep.
I mean, Jason Levi went 20 minutes with hard-hitting Congo Kong and then turned around against Hadari 5 days later. And, that match was a beating hell up on each other. And then, not to bring it back up, King and JKO, after what actually went down that day, to come out and get and do what they done. And, so.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean,
and you had 3. Warrior Pro. If I went to Warrior Pro, my list could have been totally different. But I
agree with you on Winchester. I agree with you on Winchester. He was almost on my list as well. He's since he's been back from that from his injury, the improvement he's made from time every time we see him has been pretty large.
Did a great job, and like I said, that's one thing I like because Marcus had at least 3 matches that we didn't see. We didn't see that he's seen. So I think it's what's good that Marcus goes to more shows. Of course, he's going to almost double what me and you're going to see this year. But I think that's good. That we're getting that feedback, and we all we all like different things. I mean, Marcus might like something I don't like, or you might like something that Marcus don't. So I think it's good that we do it this way, and I hope the wrestlers and the fans appreciate it. Okay.
I got something to add.
For
Just an idea for you guys to do. Maybe like first show of January. You guys should just do your top 5 indie wrestlers of the whole year.
Fill him in,
well, actually,
Tony.
Mark, yes, that's a
You
good
guys
idea.
are?
No, well, see, we did it last year. We did we've got we had 14 categories, and we got the best match, best show, uh, best rookie, different things. I'm just naming them off the top of my head. So I think you got the list. Okay, we had match of the year last year. We had show of the year, best heel, best babyface, tag team of the year, manager of the year, greatest moments of the year, best fans, feud of the year, people to watch, best technical wrestler, best hardcore or stipulation match, wrestler of the year, and female wrestler of the year. Them are the categories we had last year.
Well,
We'll be doing that sometime.
It's like your Slammies.
Yeah. Have Chris put
Yeah.
most improved because we added that
Yeah,
category
we'll do
last
most
night.
improved. Yeah, stick that up there. Yeah, we're gonna do most proof too. And hey, if any of you guys got any ideas for categories out there, we're trying to get the list together. We're not against adding some categories. So if somebody comes up with something good, all right, we're gonna move on to our factions. And Austin, you want to go first?
That's pressure. Okay, I'll do it.
Okay, putting the pressure on.
Well, you know me, most of mine are going to be pretty more newer
Okay,
and nothing before 2000 mostly. So, um, I'll start out with one of my. I did 2 women and 2 men. I'll start with my women. The idea behind this one is pretty much just 4 of the most, in my opinion, just like flashy, athletic, like women that we've had that can kind of just do anything in the ring. So with that being said, I have Bianca Belair, Sasha Banks, Ember Moon, and Naomi. So that's one of mine. I don't have names. I know you guys said you had names. I couldn't come up with any. I didn't want to embarrass myself. But my second one, the idea behind it is men's technical, like total package wrestlers. Just 4 of my favorite wrestlers I just think have everything in and out of the ring. So that means that it'd be Kurt Angle, Daniel Bryan, Chad Gable, and Eddie Guerrero. And the thing behind this one would be pretty much the stable would just be 4 cocky guys that just know and think they're better than everybody. And they don't have to be super big, but they're just the best. So that's pretty much the gimmick behind that. My third one is the other women. This one is just 4 of the strongest, just powerful, like just dominant women. Just I think it would just be a great faction that would just tear it up. Rhea Ripley, Beth Phoenix, China, and Victoria.
I knew he was gonna have China in there. As soon as he said he was doing that type of faction, I figured he was gonna have China in there.
All 4 of them are they just have a dominant presence and just 4 of the most powerful women in WWE history, in my opinion. And my last one is a today take on Evolution for what I would like. And I'm going to tell you the spots they'd be in the group, like who they would be. So with that being said, the flair of the group for me now would be Christian, kind of the older veteran, can be the mouthful, kind of the dirty play, kind of just kind of schemy and just all that. For Randy Orton, I think the obvious is kind of Theory, Austin Theory, kind of the come up, who I think has all the natural talent, in my opinion. For the Batista, the muscle, I put Braun Breaker, also kind of an up and comer who, can be the muscle of the group. And for the Triple H spot, kind of the person that's already at the top, the champion, I put Seth Rollins.
I like that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The only one I like Steiner. I think just because he's a little bit taller and bigger, I thought of when you said that, which you don't watch him a lot. I thought of Wardlow.
I get what you're saying,
but Steiner's a good pick too, though. I like that. I like that idea a lot.
I get what you're saying, Wardlow, and I tried to think of some bigger people. I just thought that Steiner, he was big enough, and I think he has the charisma of being like a Batista type.
Oh, that's awesome. I like that a lot.
Cool.
Okay, guys, I'll go next if it's okay. My factions, my first one is called Heel Incorporated. My manager for the group is Harley Race. And my heels would be Roddy Piper, Ric Flair, MJF, and Jake the Snake Roberts. That would be my first group.
Be
My next
interesting to
group,
see how the old school guys deal with MJF.
yep, yeah, that would be true. Uh, but I had to throw them in there because I thought it'd be a little different. My next group is I couldn't come up with a manager, so Marcus, tell me if I did okay with a manager for this group. The name of the group is the Brawlers. My manager is Sir Oliver Humperdinck,
I was going to use
and
it one time too. So
and got Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, Bam Bam Bigelow, Dr. Death, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy would be my group. And I think that group would be hard to deal with.
who was in that group again?
Bruiser Brody, Stan Hansen, Bam Bam Bigelow, Dr. Death, Steve Williams, and Terry Bam Bam Gordy.
Okay. You'll
And I
see
knew
why I asked you
Humperdinck. The reason I went with Humperdinck because I knew he had managed Brody some before. I knew he'd managed Bigelow before. I wasn't for sure, but I knew he was around the other guys in Texas and stuff. So I really couldn't come up with another manager. I thought about Skandar what's his name?
Akbar?
Skandar
Akbar.
Akbar, but I didn't think that fit.
Didn't Humperdinck, he wrestled at one time too, didn't he?
I think so, a little bit. I
Yeah.
think he did. My next one's kind of cheesy, but you guys are gonna have to.
Oh, I
let me
got to
have
feel
it.
those myself.
This one actually there was a name of this. If I remember right, in NWA, you can or somewhere. I think Marcus, you may know this. The name of a group is called Brothers in Paint, and the manager's Paul Ellering. It's going to be Ultimate Warrior, Sting, the Barbarian, Animal, and Hawk. But there was a group I remember for a brief time called Brothers in Paint.
I don't recall, but that don't.
I think it was just like a name for it could have been even for just for a Survivor Series or for just like a one show. I don't think it was a faction, but I think but I remember that, and it may have been even Sting and the Road Warriors one time, and they just called themselves Brothers in Paint for like
You're about to get sued for stealing a name, man.
Yep, I might. And then my last one is the group is called the Dark Side. The manager is Fallen Angel, who is also known as Woman. It will be Kevin Sullivan, Bray Wyatt, Undertaker, and Kane would have been the group.
I'm just trying to picture that.
I almost had one similar, but instead of Sullivan, I had the Boogeyman. Just going straight, just really crazy gimmick.
I almost went with Kevin Sullivan as the manager of that group and added Papa Shango in there.
Yeah, now that would work too.
Yeah, I almost did that. And you can see where I got Papa Shango crossed out. All right. Well, that's it for me. Chris, you want to go? We'll let Marcus round it out.
I'll go. My first one is going to be women. I came up with the name Women of Destruction. Zoe Stark, Rhea Ripley, Jade Cargill, and Bianca Belair.
That's a good one.
That's a good group.
Then I have one called The Tradition. It's Goldust, Cody Rhodes, Jey Uso, and Jimmy Uso. Basically,
Okay.
kind of like the guys are second generation, third generation guys.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
And then my last one, I only had three.
You know who'd be a good manager for that group? If you think about it, Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman. I didn't think about that
because his connections with Dusty Rhodes and his
with-
connections with the Usos family. That would work.
And then my last one, I'm calling it the Devil's Army. It's MJF, Triple H, Randy Orton, and Roman Reigns.
Okay. It's interesting.
Four guys I think are some of the better heels.
Okay, Mr. Marcus.
Well, I actually have 7, but 4 are legitimates, and then I got 3 hokies. So what one you want first?
Do your Hokies first.
Okay, well, of course, I had the Faces of Foley, and I guess you can guarantee what 4 guys I put in there.
Yeah.
Foley, Cactus Jack, Mankind, and New Love.
Okay.
And if you ever had the vintage SmackDown PlayStation video game, you could wrestle those 3 guys at one time. So,
Okay.
Yep.
and then I have the Jobber Wrestling Jobber Wrestling Order, JWO, the Brooklyn Brawler, Mike Sharp, Barry Horowitz, and S.T. Jones.
Okay.
And then I had one called The Warriors, which was the Ultimate Warrior, the Road Warriors, and the Modern Day Warrior, Kerry Von Erich. Now that was my goofies because I was just writing crapped out. Okay, so for the reels, Power Incorporated, no manager, they didn't need one. Ken Patera, Mark Henry, Ivan Putski, and Ted Arcidi. All those guys were power lifters.
Yep.
At one time. And then I had the Tons of Destruction. You know, probably figure out where I'm going with this. Lou Albano was their manager. King Kong Bundy, Jerry Blackwell, the One Man Gang, and Earthquake. All big fight. And that's funny how you said that they're going to have a big guy group. They always had a cruiserweight. I don't know why they didn't have like a 400-pound plus belt.
They didn't say, because they was talking about on Busted Open, and they actually had Bronson Reed, and they was talking to him about it. He said he don't know if it'll be named or if it'll be even a belt, but he says they look like they're going in that direction where you're going to see probably a match or two, maybe weekly, where you're going to see big guys featured, and maybe the same thing with cruiserweights on SmackDown, because Triple H really loved the cruiserweight idea, which Vince ruined, that he would like to maybe feature them, and I think that's a good idea, feature one on one show, feature one on the other show.
Yeah, I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, you know how I like to watch those big guys, like Tyler Bodine and Brutus Dillon. I mean, we've seen Hidori.
Who was it that said that? Yeah, big guys slapping meat together.
Big E.
Yeah, Big E. Big guys slapping meat together.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if I can say that. That's humorous. Okay. And I guess he was in attendance yesterday. Kelly got to see him and talk to him. This one is called Old School USA. The manager was Saul Creechman, Scott Romer, who was in the house yesterday. He didn't come upstairs to see us, but Kelly did see him yesterday. Dick the Bruiser, Bobo Brazil, Bobo Brazil, Moose Cholok, and Baron Von Raschke. And then I call him Tough as Hell. Dr. D. David Schultz, Stan Hansen, Bruiser Brody, and Harley Race.
Yeah.
And they don't need a manager either. So that's why when you started rambling off yours, I thought, because you said Dr. D. Didn't you say Dr. D? Yours was Steve Williams.
No, my Dr. Death, Steve Williams.
Okay, well, I was thinking, I thought, man, you got one almost similar to mine, but yeah, so.
I think of that Dr. D. Schultz, all I think of is that damn Tuesday Night Titans.
Yeah, I watched the Dark Side of the Ring the other day, and he had to talk about the police was called because he was out beating these kids and his wife and shooting the ceiling out of his house with Vince there. Yeah, that shit's funny. I'm telling you, you need to laugh. You just go back and watch that crap.
Austin, you want to talk about not politically correct? You need to watch. You need to watch that.
Oh yeah, there's no way they could film any of that today like that.
No,
it could be canceled in 30 seconds.
But the one you got to watch though, if you want to laugh and maybe pee your pants, is the one with the wedding, with the midget dancing on the table and throwing cake, and it's unbelievable.
I think that's episode 2.
That for like an hour and a half or 2 hours on USA.
It was a takeoff on the Tonight Show, but
yep. Something else.
That was. Oh yeah, the way he talks to his wife all day and stuff. Oh man, it'd be boom. People would go crazy.
What did I say, woman?
Eat your chicken. What are you laughing about? You eat that. Get out of here. You ain't eat nothing now.
He'd say something to his kids and they'd smile or laugh and all, man.
I don't know if Austin ever got to see where Dr. D where Schultz was on 2020 and the announcer asked him his interview him asked him is wrestling fake, and he takes his open hand and he slaps him as hard as he can in one ear, and he said, "Is it fake now?" And he slaps him in the ear again. He busted his eardrum, and they got sued, and he lost his career was over after that. But yeah,
I feel like I might
he
have
showed
seen
him
like a video of that before.
And then the other one when David Belzer asked Hulk Hogan, put a move on me, and
yeah, I've
and
seen
he
that.
grabs that front headlock on him and just squeezes and then lets him go, and lets blood comes out on the floor. That's nuts.
I've seen that one.
Belzer got a lot of money on that too.
Yeah, they called it Shea Hogan. That's what he named the house. He made enough. He made a mansion. Called it Shea Hogan.
Yep, he sure did.
I remember when that 2020 aired live. I got it on a VHS tape up in the collection where I taped it off the TV the night it aired. So
Yeah, they showed that live, and I think that was on the same show where they showed the guy cutting his head.
yes, it was at
Eddie
Mansfield.
Yeah, the guy cut,
What's that Dark
Eddie
Side of the
Mansfield cut his
Ring?
head on the air.
You either give me health insurance
show
or
how
I'll
to
close
blade.
the business.
You want to see that? All you gotta do is watch the John Moxley match.
It's true.
You'll see how to blade. Just watch John Moxley match. He'll sit in the middle of the ring and do it right in front of the camera. I hate
Just
to
had
say
to bring
that.
John
I
Moxley
used to
up.
be a big fan. I used to be a big Moxley fan, but man, it's hard to watch him now.
He was never good.
I go. I liked him as Ambrose. I did.
I thought he was decent as Ambrose, but I always felt, for me personally, he was my least favorite Shield member
Well, I agree with
from
that.
day one.
Yep.
From
And
day one.
I hate Roman Reigns, but I agree with that.
No, I agree with that, but I even liked him as Moxley, which we saw him independent, but then even when he was first in AEW, but now it's just I can't watch all the no selling.
I will say his one match we've seen at the indie show where they went out in traffic was one of the craziest matches I've ever seen live. I'll give him that.
It was.
They went out in live traffic.
Well, the one I've seen him in, he was in a Fans Bring the Weapons match, and somebody brought a summer sausage. That still kills me. And he hauled off and hit the guy at that summer sausage and broke it in half. He reached down, bit the end out of it, pooh, right on top of it. But that's classic stuff right there.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
That match I also talk about, that was crazy. They threw the guy over the rail on top of the chairs, and then outside in the middle of the road, cars coming down the street.
Do him on top of the hood of a car. Could you imagine me driving down the street and somebody stop you on top of your car?
Not in the area that was at. That was he probably seen it 3 blocks prior to that too. So it was just another day in the neighborhood for that area.
That wasn't the best area over there.
Ooh, I took my son with me the night I went down there. I went to one of those. And it's like, you're going with me. I need some kind of backup out here.
It was a good show too, because they had Bryan Danielson was there
against I can't think of his name.
Billy Rock.
No,
Drake Younger.
Rock was there, but Rock wrestled, but against Drake Younger.
Against Drake Younger, and Billy Rock was there. Moxley. Of course, it was before Moxley and Danielson. Well, Danielson had been in WWE once before.
He was in the NXT, and he did the little. He was
Wait,
he
he got fired for choking the dude with the mic.
Yeah, it was the Nexus.
He came up with
choked
Nexus.
that guy. He choked that ring announcer with the cord, and they fired him.
And then it was right. It was actually the weekend before he came back.
Yep.
Yeah, he came back at SummerSlam, right?
Yep.
As like the mysterious member.
Yep.
Yeah,
if you remember,
that was a crazy show. It was a good show.
Yeah, it was.
I know.
It was just wicked down there.
I know you probably remember, but I wasn't a big Daniel Bryan fan until pretty much WrestleMania 30. I wasn't sold on him really.
No, I know. And now if we just get you converted on Ric Flair, you'd be all right.
I don't.
What's there?
I won't deny.
There's nothing more you can do with Flair. I mean,
yeah, but he's never seen Ric Flair is that great.
have you not watched Flair and Steamboat in '89? Some of that
I've
stuff?
seen the matches. Personally, I just like the style of matches these days. I think they can do more personally, athletically.
Oh yeah, there's no doubt athletically. I think Steamboat could do. I mean, of course, can't now, but I think at that time Steamboat could wrestle.
Oh,
he could wrestle now.
I think Steamboat's one of the best there. I think Simo's better than Ric Flair in the ring by far.
Well,
Personally,
I agree with that. Yeah.
I think he's
Ric Flair's
better
character
than-
is great. His
Yeah.
in the ring character stuff. In the ring, like as a wrestler, I've never been too impressed with it. I know that's not his thing, but like his biggest thing. But I don't get it really. Just me.
Well, that's all right. I don't care for Shawn Michaels either, but
Oh, I know.
I respect the talent. I just never
And you
cared
know
for it.
what's funny is I love the WrestleMania match, Ric Flair's retirement match. That was a great match.
Yep.
That was a good one, and so was the Michaels and the Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean
Yeah,
Michael's
I
Undertaker.
he's talented. I just never
Yeah.
I never cared for him. Not like
It's funny because my favorite WrestleMania match has Shawn Michaels in it, but it's neither one of those.
Kurt Angle.
Yes, that's my favorite WrestleMania match of all time.
It's a good one.
And if he'd got the accident when it happened with his athletic ability, I think Owen Hart would have been known as one of the best of all time.
yeah.
He
the
still
whole-
kind of is.
Because he was athletically, he was way ahead of of that time period. He could do stuff nobody had seen and could do it yet.
Yep.
You got to think Michaels wasted 5 years of his career. I know they say he had a bad back, and I think he did have some problems, but most of that problem was the drugs. If he could have cleaned up earlier, he lost 4 or 5 years of his career because of that stuff.
and screwing Sonny.
Yeah.
Well, you heard she got 17 years, right?
Yep.
We ain't supposed to see her around for a while.
No.
Yep.
So in about 9, she'll show up on the Independent somewhere, but she'll be on probation and have an ankle bracelet. But
About 9.5 years, she'll be sitting beside Marcus doing commentary.
then your dad will be trying to set
She's
you up.
gonna be your woman.
Oh, it's gonna be Bucks.
Did you get through all yours, Marcus?
Yes, I'm done.
Okay. Well, we
Marcus.
no, I can't remember what it is. We come up with something last night.
Yeah, we probably better not.
No, we better not say.
We
it on
better
air.
not say it on air.
No, we can't say it on air.
I got to laughing about what I had said about.
Yes, that's what it's concerning. But we
the
can't say it
t-shirts.
on air.
Remember what I
You
said
know it's
about the
bad when I'm
t-shirts?
censoring myself.
Well, you remember what I said about the t-shirts?
Yeah.
I got more to add to that, but
Okay.
again, this is not where to do it. So
Yeah, no.
I almost said it too, and I caught myself. Well, you got anything else?
Next week, guys,
what's next week?
we have we'll be talking about any indie shows that which I don't think we do have a show Saturday. We're going to Marcus will have some shows. He's also going Saturday also and some other shows. Got the NXT's got a pay-per-view Saturday night. I'll try to watch it Sunday before we come on air Monday. We'll have another pro wrestling profile with Marcus. We'll come up with some topics to discuss. And then I also got the rankers, the best brawlers in history. It's a 32-man bracket, and it was done over 997 votes is what they took in to come up with this.
Oh, that'd be great.
With these results. So just a little fun thing. Who do you think number one brawler is? See if anybody can guess it. I'm not going to give it away unless somebody guesses it.
Brawler?
Who?
Stan Hansen.
Nope.
What can you give me like what time period?
I'm gonna say Stone Cold. That's all he was a brawler, basically.
Let me just see if Hansen's on the list here.
Well, let me rephrase that. That's what he was toward the later. When he got big, he was a brawler because he'd been hurt. Before that, he was a hell of a wrestler.
Yeah. Hansen is number 8 on the list.
But when Stone Cold got big as Stone Cold, he was mainly just a brawler. He couldn't do a whole lot of he couldn't do a lot of stuff he used to be.
What time period is the?
He wrestled some late 80s, big in the 90s, even wrestled some in the 2000s.
Oh, you're a little later than that. Okay.
For some reason, I'm only going to say that I don't think it is, and I wouldn't put it, but because of the gimmick they gave him in his later years, is it The Undertaker?
No, let me see if Undertaker's
Okay,
even on the
because they were
list.
trying to call him like the most deadliest striker, and he would do the UFC stuff because he's a big UFC fan. And that was so.
Undertaker is number 5 on the list.
I knew he would be high. I knew it. I wouldn't put him that high, but I knew he would be.
You got a guess, Chris, or did you see the list?
I said Stone
Oh,
Cold.
you said Stone Cold. I'll give you this. He's number 2 on the list.
All right.
And I don't think I think that's personally, I think that's too high,
Yeah, for a brawler. Yeah.
in my opinion. I mean, he's a good brawler, but I think that's too high. That's just me personally.
Is it
But yeah, we'll
Triple
be
H?
doing that next week. Triple H is on the list. He's not number 1. He's middle of the road. No, not middle of the road. He's down towards the end.
All right. Well, I'll probably get on and probably comment with you guys on that one. I'm sure I usually get on because I'll work, but I usually get on right around the time you guys do the brackets. So I'll probably be on time to at least comment.
Okay. All right.
So
well,
really, I don't really have homework then, except for my spotlight.
nope, that's it.
All right. And then we can't write down results till we go to see what they are. So
Yep, that's true. You'll probably be going more likely to the dub.
yeah, that's playing the Dub and NGW. That's the 2 this week.
Okay. I'll come back. I'll watch that pay-per-view on probably Sunday. I'll probably watch it. That's NXT Deadline.
Is it this upcoming Saturday?
Yep.
Nice. I'm off. Let's go.
All right. We appreciate everybody watching. Please hit that subscribe button on YouTube at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Like and follow Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram at Gonzo'S Sports Room as well. If you missed F.E.W.
Interviews. We got an interview this week. Sorry, I didn't want you to get off the air before we said it.
If you missed F.E.W. Frontier Elite Wrestling Retaliation last night, go check that out on our YouTube page. Also, we do have, like Marcus just said, interview on Thursday at 7.
8.
Or 8. Was it 8? Yeah, it was 8, wasn't it?
Yep, 8.
At 8 with Chris Chaos and Warren Misery.
Yep.
They'll be joining us Thursday at 8 o'clock. So join us for that. You can find out on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. Yeah, all those platforms at Gonzo'S Sports Room. Anything else other than Saturday will be at NGW? That start at 5, 6.
Oh, I think it's 6, but I'll touch base with you.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know more the exact start time. Now I'll put out a graphic about it. Plus, we'll talk about it on Thursday when we're do the interview.
6:30. I'll let you know.
Other than that, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
That'd be absolutely devastating.
Here, this is Joey Owens' show. They've been trying to get me on this broadcast forever, and this is the worst damn broadcast I've ever been on. So you all can kiss my ass while I win this match.